Figured I'd do this quickly before I take my walk. So it's like super duper bright sunny sun. I don't know if it's just weird, like the atmosphere, or I have like photosensitivity. I don't know. Just to me, it's just really super bright outside. So, anyways, I feel actually so far better than yesterday. I was like extremely fatigued yesterday. So, uh, that's about it. I think I might try to get out by 11. And I'm just doing my thing that I do because probably about another week or two, I'll be able to start going all the way up the hill again. So we'll see how that goes in terms of if I'm actually like having a lot of fatigue that I don't usually have. So that's about it. I think I logged about 8 hours last night. Yeah. Just know this, the second that you don't see typing from me, I'm asleep in about 5 minutes, if that. I just immediately go to sleep. Um, I had a couple of times adjust the volume. I tried to watch another 48 hours. It's like a struggle with people that are having mental illness. Okay, so like everything has to have these commercials in it. Only they know why they're doing it. I don't think they do know, but it's clearly some sort of mental insanity where they did it on Pluto as well. So it's one thing to have commercials, but some of them are like 5 minutes long and they purposely alter the volume. So um, yeah, it's just when you begin to think that it's sort of your job to help adults like stay off the internet or shut a TV off when they go to sleep, you're projecting things about yourself onto other people because you just have to trust a person when she tells you that that's mentally ill to be doing that. Um, some of you have issues with socializing, so that could be one of them. You're way too controlling. It's an abnormality within you. Okay, like I'm someone who I even birthed 6 children, and I'm not that controlling. Okay, it's just it's really not. It's some sort of syndrome that some people have where they cannot leave people alone, and they have to pretty much control everything people do. So people like that need to have dogs and stuff to be doing that. You can constantly train a dog and all of that, not another person. So, right. Anyways, gonna have a little bit of soda. I took like one sip of it and started getting that little bit of nausea I get in the morning. It's not, it's already resolved. It's not, it's a different type of nausea. It has to do with stuff on an empty stomach. The soda is pretty flat too, so that's probably not helping. So that is some bright sun. I've been wearing sunglasses, which are probably not the greatest things. Remember when they used to tell you that those super dark ones actually let more UV rays in your eyes and stuff? You just go, can't help that. All right, so let me see the CNN. Well, I have no way of knowing that. I would assume it's not old. The Benjamin Netanyahu thing about where he's talking to you again about hostages and right. It's not really any different, in my opinion, than the things that I have been conveying to you. Um, Clearly, someone like that has a lot more information from all over the place, all over the planet, all over planet Earth about what's going on. Not those things can be somehow hidden by shutting off people's social media and telephones and intercepting their emails. That's very naive of thought to have ever believed that you could do that when you know that people have satellites I went over this because I experienced it when I was still in my house. You could Google Earth a house and zoom right into a person's backyard. Okay, so you're never at any given time hiding people, including hostages. So I'm sure they've had to view highly disturbing things that I have been protected from having to view. Okay, so it's been now 13 years, same population. Um, in particular, out in what you're calling Quincy, Massachusetts. Okay, because on Earth, Earth is Earth. I understand that these are sort of like long-standing, agreed upon words for areas. Okay, that's why I talk like that, because I acknowledge it, but yet I don't acknowledge it. Because as you know, countries and nations' names change. Okay, so um, as weird as that may seem to be speaking like that, it's almost sort of weird and ironic. It's actually called Quincy. So that's a little bit strange because they're in no way, shape, or form looking to see Quinn at all. Okay, so there wouldn't be a reason to keep going out there in a population of dying off other species that know everything. They know everything about everything. And I don't need to be powerful, but just the pure nature of how insignificant and powerless I am is humorous. It's humorous to me. So, anyways, like I said, it's a 2 5 star. How to end the cycles of rebirth. Okay, wait for the promise of the Father. Rack them up, set them up. Clearly already done. So, right, people are doing really well with staying calm because they don't want to end up with vital services shut off. There's not a point of that happening. Okay, and so the infrastructure needs to be maintained for the reasons that I explained. Um, Eventually, there'll be people that will be coming over here after this land piece is cleared that cannot be here until the land piece is cleared because the population is so dangerous to them. So, not they're going to stay in the dirt pile of drought forevermore. Okay, so it's not possible for them to be here until the land piece is cleared. I mean, just every day that goes by that I'm like this, you just, it's, well, it works out for the long-standing good that it's come to this, but um, I thought it would go a little bit differently. The popular just wouldn't imagine a Christian nation to be that belligerent, but apparently there was a brain plague that was going on, and then the initial nuclear event in 2011 really seemed to blow out a lot of people's brain matter, and it's the nature of the species to really rely upon the world, and so that's the perceived reality, and that's the perceived, I guess, power base. That's the perceived truth. So over the course, probably maybe from the beginning, a complete rejection of me and the kingdom of heaven in this for this physical form. It's just a complete rejection of it. So that's a good thing to know about yourselves. Not that's happened to you. You all made a choice of rejecting it. Like God presents, I guess, a choice at that time, and that's not untrue. It's just helpless to you, helpless to me, helpless to thermonuclear weapons, helpless to the Almighty. So I explained a lot about the population out in what's called Quincy. Some people would view it as they all pretty much chose to reject me and to become traitors to their own countrymen. Okay, it's really kind of that in a nutshell. They all it took money. They all took housing. It wouldn't matter how long I was kept like this or how much abuse was done unto me. Um, that's just the nature of how that brain functions. And what's interesting is a lot of them, I don't know, like their basic Americana lifestyle here was actually ruined, but yet they still would give in to these beings. It's amazing to me watching people being abused by them right in front of them, and they still, because they have some sort of power to give them something. So well, in terms of personal relationships, it helps with social distancing to come out of a denial that they literally want nothing to do with you if you don't have anything to offer them. Anything, money, food, housing. I don't even know if they care about sexual relations, but sexual relations may help them further them along in their social standing, all of those things, clothing. So it's just, it's one thing, I guess, if you are doing it because you go, this is the place to go, right? No, and I don't have to pretend I care about you. Okay, great. They actually will. They can't stop doing it. I've seen it even in the shelter. They've got to care about the staff and this and that. And you go, really? Okay. Anyways. Pretty relaxed, yeah. Pretty relaxed. I have all sorts of like weird hormonal things too because of my age. High profile Republicans head for the exits, raising alarm bells. Okay. It's just weird when there's like absolute silence in the house. It's just a little bit strange, that's all. Okay. Well, this one's kind of interesting, I guess. Our people are here to stay. World Court hears arguments over Israeli occupation of Palestinian claimed land. Okay, that's all Oz does. Uh, right, like this entire land piece could be void, say from the Mississippi River west. I still clicked on the wrong screen. From the Mississippi River west could be void of people. Okay. And not only would I not be told that, I would still be held hostage here. And then I'm supposed to battle war with animals here. That uh, sadly retarded and grossly insane. Okay, that's literally all laws does. It's sort of like 400 houses available in what's called Plymouth, and I'm still standing here. Okay, so Plymouth is one of the areas where I think they're going to clear out the population there. I explained it after the parade. And the fact that at least one of their shelter systems was housing people there, which means they were acquiring real estate. They were allowed to acquire real estate in certain cities. In theory, that draws them to those areas, just like people began coming here from other parts of the planet believing it was a boondoggle against American citizens. Okay, so it's a way to basically lure and trap animals in one area, if people were wondering. There's certain states they told you that had a lot of foreclosures for a reason. So, not, for my opinion, that wasn't actually somewhat controlled because it's almighty. Okay, so uh, acquiring, so like donations of houses, um, government funded acquirement of housing for a reason. Well, you find out if you knew the full scope, like that Judy person was saying, that they have housing in places people don't even know about. Someone knows, believe me. Someone knows. The LLCs and stuff, someone knows who you are. And yeah, all of that is a big delusion in animals' minds going on. So the acquirement of so much real estate in an area to hold hostages in or a new family in, okay, that is why people like that don't like somehow trick us into housing and then go live on a ranch. They don't do that. You have to understand the nature of the illness. They don't do that. Okay. They literally, you can tell by the fact that they want you to have meetings and stuff with them, what the illness is. They literally demand that you interact with them. And people interviewed them, and we saw that on the television, and it's called engaging with them. Okay. We acknowledge them, we engage with them. So you know that they put people in those things on purpose. And they could look up people on Facebook, decide they're going to foreclose their house, and force you to one of their shelters, and then they're trying to have conversations with you. Okay, so it became easy to set up areas over here where these things are going to be completely just turned to dust. So the good thing about what they call REMS is that when a nuclear bombardment is completed, um, it can appear uh, that you survived it, like the woman that came into Quincy Public Library, Thomas Crane Public Library in 2022, to announce that they made it through that whole COVID thing while I was sleeping on the ground. So that level of mental derangement, um, not really understanding how ionizing radiation works. And then probably not understanding that there wasn't going to be any medical care for them. Okay. So, like a complete sort of not understanding the brain plagues and things that people who work in the medical field are not going to tolerate for a new society, like me on the ground for 2 months and then 13 years of this. Um, when you're reduced capacity, um, and you forego college or you can't handle the course load of science to get a degree in any form of science, you don't understand how those people's minds work. You don't understand how higher thought and intelligence works in terms of morality. God doesn't give beings that level of higher thought that have no morality. Okay? And like Aerosmith told you, um, the good Lord taketh away. So a lot of those people are losing their brain matter and they cannot provide treatment. So, um, just a reiteration about that, about reality. I discovered this new thing that is not new apparently, as typical, like Seinfeld. and Dawson's Creek, uh, called Trap Music. So I've been listening to a lot of that because I enjoy it. I find it entertaining. It's honey. It's funny to me. I laugh. Just like when I was introduced to Metallica in high school, um, I find the music. It just makes me laugh. I find it funny. So just if you're trying to make these, which is a good thing, like it's fun to do mixing stuff like that, isn't it? Yeah, like if you have those machines, I was trying to do it with just different YouTube videos when Aaron Carter was talking, and then trying to add sound effects and stuff to it. So that is fun. So if you, from what I can gather, if you're trying to do one of those, it has to have what's called a drop at some point. Yeah, like it starts off and then all of a sudden it just doom. That's part of why it's funny. And then it's like, ooh, like people know how to do weird stuff with the headphones and stuff. So I realized after that the video, when I put the other video with the roller coaster, it actually shows roller coasters in the background. I didn't even know that. So, right, so that must have been something like that Michael Foran was listening to on Mount Beach. Yeah, it's like he probably saw those. It's not called Talladega Nights, but each and every time that word is gonna come in my head. These Van Diesel films with the race cars that I've never seen because I have the Fast and the Furious. I have no interest in that. Right. Uh, that has no. Yeah, I just have no interest in it. But apparently, is that where this music came from? Okay. I'm familiar with the putting the things in the back of the car. One of Katana's daughters, baby daddies, he was doing that for a while. Scott may have been doing that for a while. They load up the trunk with the stuff. Okay. Oh, that's right. In college, I had to sit on someone's lap in the front seat because there was no back seat. It was all base. Okay, yes. So that was around even in 1990 when I went to college, that type of thing. So it seems maybe an evolution of that or something, but it has to, there's like a drop or something. Yeah, I just think they're funny. Like when you do, I explained it before, if you're not like me, um, when you have no body fat, I could definitely use to have more muscle mass. I've lost a lot of body mass, but I'm trying not to hop on it. Yeah, that's like my thing that I'm trying not to hop on right now is the loss of body mass. But um, when you have no body fat and you have muscles and you do endurance things like these long walks and stuff, and you do intermediate fasting, the second that you eat any food, you don't need drugs. Yeah, I've tried to explain it a bunch of times. Some of these drugs, it's like people are desperate to try to induce something that has, you're never going to be able to accomplish it with drugs, in my opinion. And drugs destroy the mind and the body and the soul, whereas what I'm doing actually doesn't do that. So, anyways, you could just listen to that stuff in, I don't know, a good hour or two. To me, it's funny when stuff is like repetitive like that. Like I said, zap, 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 zap. Aliens like at the same intensity for about an hour. That because it's funny to me. So, anyways, like yeah, some of them it's like the it's I don't want a huge long trap. Like it's got to be 3 4 minutes, like a regular song. I don't want 2 hours of trap because I do a presentation on Twitter. I don't want hours of it. So the longer I think it is until they actually do the drop, I think it makes it kind of funnier. It depends on the song, but it's just funny to me that every song will have like that same sort of like beat in the background. To me, that's funny. I don't know if that's what other people like about it because they think it's funny. Yeah, I mean, you're always going to get those sort of sad, gross people where everything on planet Earth is about getting high and getting laid and stuff, and you just go, really? I mean, nothing is ever just. It's like it's physically and mentally pleasant. That it doesn't have to do with your groin. I know it's really you definitely are the other species. If you listen to these songs and you're like getting aroused or something, it's like it's funny. It's like being on a roller coaster or something. Like, are you getting Woody at the roller coaster or just okay? Anyways, just some things are just like pleasant to the the ears and the body when you're listening to it, and it's just funny. I don't know, but anyways, they had one for Donald Trump. I don't know. They had. I found a Ava Maria one trap. So last April when I got that phone, man, because first I was out there for like a month, just literally sitting at a desk like this and just looking out the window, hours. Mm-hmm. Um, I just was basically still doing the same thing I do in my mind. Just nobody else can hear my jokes and stuff. So then when the phone, I was just sitting at the thing at the library, just listening to music. I just found it to be funny. Yeah, some things are just funny to me, like the certain like tempo and beat of the music. So obviously, that's what they do when people are like medically ill and stuff. They listen to this stuff and it makes them feel better. So I was trying to find the information about what the opiates do to you and explain again about the meditating. Okay, like the pituitary gland and all of that. But I'm not sure if it's something where the other species can't do it because Stephen explained it to me, a different Stephen, about why he can't do that and why he was still using drugs. So some of them, they've got to have drugs because they cannot do it. And you can't have people in pain. So, it, yeah, just they can't, like God said, they can't turn and be healed. They're just the other species, and it's a fraction of the other species apparently that cannot ever seek out God. That's what was explained to me by one of them because they're psychopaths. Okay, they it just makes them angry and enraged. They reject all forms of caring and love, even from the Creator. So, we got a little one. So, believe it or not, by Ripley. Yep. Yeah, it's kind of weird when one of them goes around saying he loves everybody. Yeah, I don't think so. So, yeah, he may have been going into what I kind of call like end of life psychopath. I feel like they reach the end of their rope at that point. Um, just like profuse insanity of they're trying to concoct a way to harm you. So they don't just come out of the gate going blah 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 because clearly that's not going to work. So you pretend that you want to go out with someone, and that becomes a thing where you pretend an emotion and then take it away from me or something. It's just really not the first one of that species to be doing that stuff. Yeah, just a That would be like a person like Jack the Ripper, that dude who would just keep stabbing me, and he could never get rid of the fury of it. Yeah, just someone that would cut me to shreds, burn my flesh, bury me in the ground, and then hope they would hope in their mind that that hatred obsession would be gone at that point. So CNN's kind of basic today. Nothing really that, except the thing about the battling over territory when there's land everywhere. So, well, it's part of, again, explaining the complete eradication of the planet Earth. Um, I'm sure over time there's been times where just complete populations of these things were killed with swords, strangulation, rocks, um, because they're so disgusting and they won't stop following people around. So it comes to that point where they won't stop trying to rape people and everything that they're doing. And so it, right, when I said not enough bullets, now there's so many of them, but over the course of the history of that species, I don't believe that's never happened. Where just a whole population of them is gutted, put on spikes, done away with. And then because the whole population of them wasn't extincted, uh, they just rebuilt. Okay? Just they don't do anything else. They'll never change. Been thousands of years, believe me. So, um, with this thermonuclear stuff and the free electrons, it destroys their DNA. And like I said, um, Almighty God has them in an extinction, anyways, and He controls putting people in wombs. Okay? So, to prevent their literal starvation and to prevent a war like that, because clearly it's way since that point, we're way past that point. Um, and they can't do enough whacked out stuff to us trying to get us to go to war with them. They cannot do enough stuff. They will. They are never going to stop doing that, trying to get people's attention. So hopefully they get it. At people are doing it. They are doing it. It's called thermonuclear weapons and free electrons. So if you could realize what you're doing, people aren't going to engage with you. We're not going to get in a ground war with you. We're not going to keep hitting you and then you put us in jail and stuff. Like, really enough. Really enough. Enough with the in and out of housing, the shutting off of things, everything and anything to try to agitate people. So it's not going to happen. It's almighty. He is helping you, helping the other fraction of your species, and helping my species not have to experience that here. It's all part of God being kind and compassionate and all loving and gracious, that's not going to happen. This is a modern society here. People don't have that. Okay. So it's not that you haven't driven people to that point. It's just they don't want to be doing that. Okay. And God has made it so that we don't have to do that. So I think if you this is what I think, but I mean, people that want to cause a problem, they make up things constantly. I think if you can express, as I just did, in a relaxed, calm manner, okay, it's sort of like in a courtroom when they sentence a person to death, okay. I'm not actually dangerous to you people, I'm not dangerous to anyone, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form self harm. I mean, 13 years, okay, clearly that's not going to happen. You have to hope for, I guess, the thermonuclear weapons to pass me on before you or something, whatever that arrangement is. and be happy with the pseudo confinement and enough of this business about jails. Trying to make up things and that has a meaning, um, and giving up on the talking to me and stuff business. The expressing that clearly, uh, it, yeah, I mean, it's difficult to explain because I haven't had to get to that point, but clearly, I mean, some of the things that are, I've been literally physically attacked more than once by you things. I don't have to refer to you as people anymore. I don't view you as such. Okay. When people, things that used to be people behave like literal deranged animals, I don't have to speak of you like you're people. They just, I can't speak for other people. I try to not do that. I catch myself doing it. Like people, some people would say that they'd have to speak for themselves. I can only speak for myself. Okay, just um, anyone that's been sort of foreclosed on, all these weird things. And you go, people that had in America that other people keep trying to destroy for them. Um, Enough. We don't want America destroyed. Okay, so you're on the losing end of that for sure. You're on the, if you didn't know that, you're on the losing end of that. But like I said, things to expect in terms of what I would logically expect for you to be thinking, in terms of God keeping you calm, maybe God indicating to me um, some uh, thoughts or whatever of what's going on, is it's okay for you to believe that some other side is on the losing end of thermonuclear weapons. That's okay to think that. And just like the driving. So that people don't have to get into it with people in particular because you don't. It's pointless. Right? Uh, Avoiding stressful situations, people, places, things. Um, yeah, I think what was helpful for me is because it's true. When you realize that they're actually doing it on purpose to try to get you to react and then get in a fight, and then I think most of them after the fight, you're supposed to sit and conversate with them and become their new buddy and stuff. Once you realize that that's why they're doing that, believe me, you just go, it's what? Okay. Like that toilet thing came up again last night about, um, okay, so this is what's okay. So, because you have severe mental illness, and this Brian Buchanan person has severe mental illness, you both have some sort of an attitude about sober people and people that are attractive. Okay. So, the two of you formulated some connection with each other that day on the lawn. Okay. And then you decided that you were going to do weird things to me because you're disgusting and he's disgusting. Okay, well, can you do it like Jen and Delia did? And maybe type about it on your Facebook? I don't even look at it, I can't even see. Okay. In some sort of sad showcase, and then after about a year, just like Delia Duffy found out, I didn't even know, nor do I care. That's why it's good for this to be viewable because it really cuts down on that, I think. Cuts down on that type of behavior. Just that day, she was asking me for a coin or something. I go, I don't give you money. It was like weird. She was literally, she just went, I don't, I don't give out money. What are you on? I don't even give Brian money for that fact. Oh, and then she did that complete CUNT thing. Oh, what happened? With what? With Brian. And you go, yeah, you're over there for a reason, and I'm sitting here for a reason. Because she's a deranged animal. Right, that's why. Because she would literally stop punching the Virgin Mother right in the face. That's all she wanted to do from the second she showed up at Quincy Center. For whatever reason, she's a psychotic wacko that's hopefully dead in the ground. Right, that you have to know to just go, okay, so that's why you showed up here? You're disgusting. I know, you just go, you're meaningless to me. Okay, just you're a dangerous psycho because you're disgusting and you're a loser in life and you're an animal and I'm a beautiful adult woman. Okay? Stay away from me, please, dear God, while the nukes and the people out there with the drugs kill you. I not I get into even a verbal argument with you. That's insane. That dude isn't Charles Manson. Did you not notice that? Okay, Charles Manson seems like an adult man in some of these videos. Okay, like I think that's what he was trying to explain. He's like, I'm 50 something years old, didn't he say that? These are children. Yeah, these are like drugged out teenagers that, yeah, just. Those people are not the Virgin Mother, by the way. Okay, just really. No, you're just. You're not Susan Atkins. You're a disgusting pile of. I mean, you got a gut like this. It you have to see what they look like, and then you go, what the just literally attacking me in the public square, you go, you need to stay just away from me while that stuff weighs you down for good. Yeah, yeah. I never in life should I even have to come in contact with that. Get it? Just it's the whole nature of just how disgusting this entire 13 years has been. Ever in my life, I would be around people like that. I mean, that is not at a school play. Okay, like that's why people don't like this forced integration of schools and stuff too. You go, there's a reason why people don't like that. Why are you around me? That shouldn't even be happening in life. So that's why I said I am done, absolutely done. Well, it was something God gave me basically something to do during a Holocaust. So it helps with the disassociations and stuff because so the horror of all of it is not really evident to me right away. So probably Melissa too. She's probably been in a thing like that for a decade at least, right? Just yeah, someone like that. If Brian showed back up in Quincy Center, just I think that would definitely cause her to be like, I'm not going to talk to you people anymore. Yeah, just I can't. The same thing as me. You're so disgusting. I just, I'm done. Uh, so that's the type of thing I was talking about. So if it happened to me, it probably happened with other people, probably people like Melissa. And I hope she's in some kind of housing. I just saw someone walk by that could have been her, like before I started the live stream. Anyways, no hat, no gloves, and it's pretty cold outside. So, well, there shouldn't be a reason for that with her because she has an income, but it is people. She's one of the people where people are constantly asking her for money and stuff because they know she has an income, which I'm sure Brian was doing. It doesn't mean that she's not worthy to be talking to. It's just that's all that dude does. I've never heard her swear, but you never know. If he ever showed back up there and started trying to talk to her, she'd probably tell him to go fuck himself. Yeah, just sometimes people do stuff and they don't realize that they've crossed the line. I guess you call it. Yeah, I know it's past 11. It's just my walk. Strong gusty winds in 1 hour. I got to take my walk. You got to do your strong gusty winds regardless. Uh, so, whole bird. It's called collateral damage. Well, probably some people would say that anyway. You go, you already got so many dosages that it's there wouldn't be a point to not do more detonations because I'm here. I've already received so many REMs, right? You just I said it about the children too. I have no proof that those children are even still living. Okay, so that's not going to work as a hostage. That's what happens. They ultimately end up killing all their hostages because they're so deranged and insane. So that's typical. That's what happened over there. As I explained, nobody survived the Holocaust. Those are all Nazis. That's why they interview them. They don't really end their Oz endeavor until the hostages are dead because they think they're covering it up. So you're clearly not covering this up. Emmanuel Macron, Mar-a-Lago, King Solomon, you're not covering this up. It's not 1945. And then everybody forgets and it's the great restart. That's not what this is. So, I'm familiar with the doctrines. I went over this a long time ago. I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, because certain things I don't want to hear that God is telling me, like scary doctrines, like going to give me energy by torturing me. I'm going to scream, and I'm finally going to wake up and see the higher truth. You're hitting triggers from my past continuously. That has a meaning. Um, you're gonna make me forget everything, and then that restarts everything, and then that has a meaning. Just psychopathic desperation. Okay, it's puss, and the cycles of rebirth. That's thousands of years, right? You've got okay. So it's supposed to be how to end all suffering. So you're causing suffering, so you've got to go. Puff. Not you're doing a cause higher than self, not you're my teacher, all that stuff. So God has all sorts of forms of life. Uh, one of the things that can happen, and it doesn't mean you're a bad person, it's just a different species. You're going to transition into another form uh, with the never ending thinking thoughts. Sometimes that gets confused with what I'm doing. Okay. Um, it's just something that happens with primates. It becomes like shh, just like the labyrinth. So I explained what I thought in terms of quote unquote evolution. When people stood up and began walking, it slows down all those thoughts and they become much more simple. It's part of higher thought, believe it or not. Uh, because I'm not experiencing the other part. I can only experience this part, and then God can put me in certain states that I don't really enjoy most of the time. And then when I come out of it, I sort of can recall some of what just happened. So, in terms of things like psychosis and stuff like that, it just depends on each person is given an assignment to explain what just happened, like Joel and Jeffrey. Okay, not in Oz can never do that. I don't believe in Oz can never do that. So that could have been what happened to Susan Atkins. Okay, right. So, anyways, that's how God helps you with your psychology and understanding because the brain that's sick like that can't actually explain its own sickness. You have to have a my species in a binder where they experience that and then God takes them out of it so they can explain it to you. I don't believe a brain sick like that can actually explain it to you. So I don't think it's the same thing about um, the thought distortions, like the letters and the thought distortions. I'm pretty sure that's just God explaining it to a prophet. Because Meg and Eve, Israel shall be destroyed on Thanksgiving. Clearly, that being can, it's just a certain job in a certain breed. But, anyways, in terms of higher thought, it's really not complicated. Like, I find it to be a lot of overthinking. So that can become confusing at first, where people think they're getting enlightened, and it's actually just a brain that's like rapidly firing all over the place. So a person can become trapped in that, which I'm sure is frightening. So I've tried to help and counsel people I felt maybe had that going on. So, um, oh please God, don't do it. Yeah, it's not a pleasant thing. Okay, so um, the jogging, some people jog because of that, and I'm sure there's medications that can help slow down the thinking. Starting to get a little bit. I got to crack my neck. I think is what it is. All right, so I guess I'll have to limit myself to 11:30. No, it's not going to do it yet. Okay, it can actually hurt if you're trying to do it when it's not going to do it yet. So here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't want to something something. I gotta have a washcloth. I know I still haven't done my hair. Well, the positive part about that is they shut off the money, so it's not like I can get more hair colors. I know you just go, what in the heck? Oh, now I recognize you. people are not going to allow you things to do that to their children. They're just not. Okay. Once the fun game is over, it's the kaboom. I don't know if you didn't know that. Okay. Oh yeah, it's one thing you're doing that to me and a group of Americans. Uh, we're a whole. It's been 15 years. That's a generation. Okay, so now you're getting the kaboom. Okay, now you're getting the kaboom. That's agreed upon by your entire species. That's how you maybe you didn't know that. That's how it goes. That's what happened over there. Okay, right? Just that's 15 years. That's it. You're not getting another generation of people to be doing that with. Well, I explained it. It's different this time because it's planet wide. That's a whole other thing. That's why it's sort of, I guess, successful because the other species knows that's how it goes. It goes a certain amount of time and then it's put the kaboom because it's like a primate behavior, it's my guess, where you pretend you're in charge and it's all a big funny game, ah ha ha, and then knock you down and stuff. Okay, yeah, then you get knocked down already. It wasn't a funny game. No, I know that you probably think it is because you're so brain reduced. Like murdering people is a funny game. Got you. Okay, well, I know it from listening to God, looking at a little bit of history, and uh, personal interviews with members of your species that were wondering what the hell was going on in 2016, why it didn't stop then, why you weren't doing a war, why you weren't reunifying, why you were still doing a Holocaust. How was that still going on when they believe they gave the order to stop it? So that's why you go, okay, so this is a repetitive thing, like Candy said, because it's a primate behaviorism. Because, like I told you, this is awake to everyone. Those people all had their memory banks opened up too in 2012. So, right. Um, I'm a different species. I don't partake in that. Clearly, we're aware of it. Right, we're aware of it. It's just we don't actually partake in it. So, if people were going to set up, I guess, it's not really exactly a trap, but emergency measures about what to do during a time when you filled up a whole planet with yourselves and you're doing one of these and you have no hope of recovery. Okay, so all of it made sense. Okay, and that makes it sort of easier to set up the zones, like I said. Um, I don't know if they're asking me that. Is it Virginia? That's what I was wondering. I don't know if they're asking me that. And then Benjamin Netanyahu reiterated it again in case they were confused. Okay. Do you have hostages? Did you clear out the city? Okay, then it's not going to be allowed until those people are put down. Um, just like I explained about Quincy. It's a complete extinction of a species. It's complete eradication off the planet Earth. So I do understand the need to establish some sort of a quasi safe zone on this land piece for your mental health. Okay, I do understand that. That's why I suggested at least Quincy. But those people have to be put down. They have to be put down and put into the grave. Not their part of it. You couldn't move anybody in there. That city is completely depraved. You can't introduce family groups into that population. They've got to be put down and put into a grave. And then you have 51,000 housing units if you wanted to then attempt to stop burning fuel in that one area. Okay? But that's going to be cleared by the people with the satellite systems about what is going on. But you're not doing it until the city is void of people. You're not introducing family groups into people that are smoking crack cocaine and going around and having threesomes and stuff in the woods and attacking me. No. And all that shopping and stuff. They've got to be put down. Clearly, there's numerous grocery stores and there's a public transit there. You'd have to get rid of the buses. So I don't know if you actually have an electric bus. Okay. People want it for their mental health. I think they know once you get so many REMs, right? So, um, I would expect myself to be given housing and enough of the bull crap with the nonsense. Um, so, people in Virginia, I don't know if they really have the ability to do that. I'd find out because a key would be mailed to this address. So, nausea. The other type of nausea, not the soda, not the what do you call it? Like something on my belly, nausea, just nausea. No, I have to urinate. In case you were like, oh, she's gonna go vomit. No, I have to urinate. Well, it becomes sort of a little bit of a difficult thing for the Oz when you have to stay in the denial about me in terms of anything that I say or type at this point. Okay, if I'm not personally saying that I'm going to show up with a firearm or a knife or even go where you are and do something to you, I'm not danger to others. Okay. I'm not going like the guy they explained, the man with the army T-shirt. That's not happening either, right? So, and the only reason anybody would be doing that, folks, is because of their panic. That's not my problem. That's not my problem. You've got to get a handle on your panic. Okay. And then what's the other one? Danger to self, clearly not even indicating that. So I can't be happier. Okay, so I'm not Aaron Carter. I don't have a firearm. I don't have children. I don't have a dog. I don't own any property. You already stormed me out of my house. You took my children. You stormed me out of this woman's house. You stormed me out of a room in Quincy. You stormed me out of a hotel in Dorchester. So, uh, anyways, but yet you don't know anything about me, and there's some sort of a reason for this 13 years. Okay. So, if you could focus your attention on people, not to go do something to him, but he's in another land piece. Someone like Benjamin Netanyahu, in terms of your voice things that you have issues with, you're typing, you're suing people, you're yelling in the streets. Okay. Because you can't possibly be at war with a woman that you don't know who I am. There's some sort of a reason why I have no children and no house and no income, and the snap card's not reloading again, and you don't give me housing. It was amazeballs you were doing those acts at all. Um, so you have no choice at this point because you waged war against the United States of America. Am I the United States of America? Am I the United States government? Am I the United States of America? Am I in NATO? Am I part of NATO? Am I in the G20 and the G8? Okay, focus your attention to that, not threatening you're going to kill them, but maybe focus on Vladimir Putin and Benjamin Netanyahu since they're not on this land piece. Okay? Okay, because when you were told to ask me things, that's not asking me things. Attacking me is not asking me things. And that requires you coming out of the blame part on your part. So you're kind of stuck. I'm familiar with your species. Okay, you're kind of stuck. So you're encased in a world system. You waged war against the United States of America and its citizens. You committed a Holocaust on U.S. soil. Okay, so apparently, from my point of view, okay, I'm allowed to have a point of view still. Apparently, from my point of view, someone is killing you now. That you were found guilty of treason and crimes against humanity. And so weaponry that they possess is being used to kill you, to end this, because no amount of speaking, yelling in the streets, demands, paperwork, appearing in front of you is getting you to stop it. So that's what happens. I don't know. I don't know what their point of view is because, praise God, I'm not out there. To me, they seem completely emboldened and obnoxious. It's like it's disgusting to listen to and observe. So it's sort of like that music video that was posted to Twitter from 3 years ago in the UK. And you go, okay, so if you can't talk like this, if you haven't gotten Zen like this, please, dear God, stay away from these people. People, okay. But if you're Zen like it, then you just say, okay, so the dancing in the street at Joe Biden's election and playing Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. Is that viewed as funny? You couldn't possibly be talking about Nancy Pelosi because she's a Democrat. So what witch was dead at that point? I asked you on YouTube why you were dancing. I don't know if you couldn't see me. Hopefully you can see this. You might have no recall of it because you're in a brain plague, and I'm not sure if those nuclear weapons, they give you that stroke and then your brain dies. Okay. So you're having cognitive issues, I know that, but I couldn't have imagined that, and it's probably still on YouTube if I looked it up right now. When you were told that Joe Biden won an election over Donald Trump and Mike Pence, the Trump Pence, you appeared dancing in the street with face masks, and that you were playing Ding Dong the Witch is Dead. And I went into a chat and I attempted to ask you what you were celebrating. And of course, you didn't respond to me. You may not have seen me. Did people overseas see you? Like, could they see that as I could see it on YouTube? Do you think they pondered what you were celebrating and why you were playing that song and what that meant as a group? Like, do you think that Vladimir Putin and the Vatican and Benjamin Netanyahu and whoever what is it? I don't even know if it's Kim over in Korea still, and the guy with the letters in China. Can they see YouTube as I do, or are they being shown a different YouTube? Here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it. So, well, just remember this. I'm pretty sure that you were in an extinction anyways because it's in the Holy Bible. And genes are real. Um, what else? There's a million things that are science in the Holy Bible. So God is clearly real. So well, it appeared to me that you seemed a little bit deranged and you may have been talking about me and that you thought you won a war over the United States of America and over a transition plan. That's what it appeared to me that you were doing. So when you're in some sort of mixing station, smoking and smoking and smoking, are you able to explain to us what that is? Well, from what I can tell, it's sort of like when children pierce their nipple or something because they want their parents' attention, and we're not your parents. So we're not your parents, and we've had enough of it. Basically, from what I can tell, the other fraction of your species included. It's not just my species. I mean, clearly, my species is completely disgusted with people more so than the other side of your other fraction of your species. My species is completely disgusted with all of it because it's gross. It's a different species behavior and it's just gross. But the other fraction of your species has clearly had enough of it. So, whatever that is with the constant rebellion and wanting to like turn everything on its head and to what? To what effect? Do any of them have any? Did you ever see that film Train Spotting, by the way? Do these people have children with the constant using of drugs? Shocking. The constant jungle music, the constant partial nudity, the constant grinding each other in music videos, the constant drug use. Games, so that means destroy your own city in a madness. Enough of it. Absolutely enough of it. So it's reduction of brain matter. I mean, I'm sure that the at war, grab a piece of watermelon. It, is it like Swiper in Dora, where it's just they exactly do move like that? Just they'd be just like Hurricane Katrina, and then they'd just be like, somebody's gonna do something. Just not getting rid of our infrastructure here. So you didn't want to go free and have a one card system leading to absolute equality and freedom. This is my point of view. So you're being put down because the age ended. And there can't be any reasoning with your species. So it's a good sort of way for your species to sort of understand what's going on. That you're having some sort of a world war, you're having a civil war. It helps to not have to face sort of how ill you've become in the mind, right? Because that definitely, after what I experienced at the airport, and you can't ever just stop and like, yeah, you can't do that. So don't expect yourselves to ever do that. You can't. That's why you're being compassionately put down. It's sort of like you can't stop getting angry at people's happiness and stuff. And it's like you can never get over like these supposed injustices. Never in a day can you stop doing it. You've been doing it to me for 13 years. There's still a reason for this to be going on. Because you folks, something happened to you, or you didn't get something. So, right, from my viewpoint, it's just you like to feel like you're controlling things and stuff, just like I said. So there you go. I did. I go. There better be a actual safe zone set up, Benjamin, for people to have approved thermonuclear weapons. So like the planet wide, but it's got to be done. Yeah, it's definitely got to be done. If you, I know you just go, well, you better set up a safe zone right now, this second. And this is what I would say, since it's difficult with these people, what they always try to conjure up the people with threatening people. If any of these beings ever pop up in a safe zone, they've got to be immediately put down. They're going to be immediately euthanized. They can't blend in. So, as soon as, I don't know, as soon as they're up walking and talking, you can tell. And they've got to immediately be put down. There'll be people in charge of that if that ever would have happened. So don't start doing it on your own. You're not a prophet. Don't start doing that business on your own, please. Okay, just, yeah, especially if you've become like angry and stuff. Once they're up walking and talking, they got to be put down. They are not people. So you literally, if you're in the other species, you literally have zero chance here. You're never going to rebuild your species. There are some people highly dedicated to eradicating you off of planet Earth. So, highly dedicated. Things like I just saw in Quincy are starking examples of it. Yeah, it's not possible for you to pretend to be my species. It's not possible. I just did a whole city of it over the course of 13 years. Not possible to pretend to be my species. For one thing, I just a reminder that I'm pretty sure Sean as well. We did not even apply for housing until 2016. And I know myself, I was like repeatedly kicked out of the place I was. I sat in that house for 3.5 years just typing. I was there from November to March without even a SNAP food card. I was forced out to the literal street. And then at the shelter, they automatically apply you for insurance and a SNAP card. And someone literally walked me to a Social Security office. Okay, so you cannot blend in. You can't pretend to be my species. You just absolutely cannot. All the business about lying about doing laundry and stuff, you just go, lying to do laundry. It's that difficult to do. How many people were in the shelter at that time? It's that difficult to two people to do laundry, even to help out with folding. That Nick guy does everything, and I told them that too. He was doing the entire thing. All you had to do was fold it. It's that difficult to do that? So you lie? No, that's what I'm saying. You can't blend it. You can't do a mimicry. That's not what I meant by mimicry. Mimicry means that physically you think that we're the same species. Like the butterflies are not the same. The monarch butterfly, the other thing, the moths or whatever, it's like that. I think it's easy to pretend to be your species. Yeah, I'm sure that I don't know if anybody would ever be doing that or they're lying to themselves, Brian Buchanan, and thought you were doing that. You wouldn't be treating me in that manner if you were doing that. So you were in some sort of a weird self lie as other species. And just the whole, just, I can't even express to you just 8 months at this point. Just, I can't even express to you how horrifyingly insane you things are. That's what I'm saying. Like, no level of cruelty is enough. None. And then people go, oh my God, I see what you're talking about. Oh, yeah. So just know that wherever everybody goes in a safe zone, you're not rebirthing there. And if by some chance you did, someone will immediately unbirth you. See how that works? Once you've reduced the population down to one area on planet Earth, and then all there are is my species, and every person that's born has to be sort of observed by a prophet that goes, eh. So believe me, it's done. So any of these people that think that they're going to rebirth here, you will be immediately put down. Okay, so that's a little bit more reality in terms of a plan about what to do on planet Earth with people that have thinking minds and they're surrounded by another species that can't even figure out how to save their own population with the business, with the food and the fuel burning and stuff. You can't even figure that out. Okay? Not rebirthing. So if God Almighty happens to put you in a womb somewhere and you're rebirthed, don't think you're hiding from Mary Gladys and others. So I guess call your, are those your police? Is that your police force you're calling, or you're calling the U.S. military with a bunch of bullshit? It clearly revealing that you're a traitor. So she's doing what? Okay. Are you in a safe zone? Did you rebirth in a safe zone? It sounds like hyperbole to me. Maybe call us after you rebirth in what you think is a safe zone, and then she shows up there. I suppose she's rebirthed too, and then she shows up there brandishing something, and then call us. How's that? If there's only one place on planet Earth that isn't being nuked and poured out of free electrons, okay. How many people could be there? Who's there birthing? And who's around those people birthing? So, anyways, believe me, I don't think God's going to rebirth you, okay? Because it's not possible, right? We can recognize you. Anywho, almost noontime. I know, remember that whole thing where you're going to appear before Obi-Wan and she can know you? Bet your ass she can know you. So it becomes a lot easier when there's one area on planet Earth for anybody to be reborn into. God explained that part. You think that's not God? Okay, God explained that part to me a couple of years ago, right? In terms of maybe that's something for you to ponder on. If you're talking to a person who doesn't forget things, how would I know who you are now? Oh, God's not going to tell me. Why is God telling me that He would, and how that's never going to work? That's why it's the end of it. The age ended. Okay? Right. It's a group, a population of beings that can't exist on planet Earth without a government. Not you keep using it to harass me. You're using it to harass and stalk me and threaten me. Okay? So you revealed yourself to the people with the nuclear material. You've got to go. Jeez Louise. That's what anarchy is. There's not going to be any of these governments. There's not going to be a military. There's not going to be a police force. There's not going to be prison cells. Not you're trying to get people out of prison and why don't I care about prisoners? You things are out of your gourd. You're out of your mind. Please breathe deep. What crimes are it that you think I'm permitting? I mean, what crimes are it that you think I'm committing? Okay, is sexual assault a crime? Is rape by coercion a crime? Is rape a crime? Is theft a crime? Is coveting your neighbor's house a crime? Is kidnapping a crime? So you beings are never going to be freed. Yeah, I hear you. I think I have lentils. I have to put those on to soak. You beings can't stay here. And clearly, the people that run your world are making sure that you're not. That's not just some person talking and she's just mad about this and that and this. Yeah, you think I'm just mad about the fact that you charged me as a witch in the United States of America and helped some dude take my fucking children from me so I can lay on the ground out in your city for no fucking reason? Yeah, you think I might be just pissed about that? Yeah. I'm tired of listening to your fucking injustice. I listened to it for 13 years. I'm not listening to it anymore. La 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 la. Not listening to it anymore. I'm done with intervention. Psychopath intervention. I'm done with it. Someone better do it if they're. Where's all our people in Hollywood who did? Yeah, 310. There you go. We need intervention psychopath for our own enjoyment. Well, what you have to do is it's just like the interview, and they all say the same thing that the person. And then we found out that a family member, right? But what you do is, and then when they're talking, it's like just like they talk, right? Like this. Then we found out 400 years ago that some person had an arrowhead up their ass, and we've identified with that, of course, given our life situation. How's the various walking programs going that people keep destroying? Okay, so that's part of acceptance. Okay. It's the one and only thing that would have saved your species. Okay, so it's clearly not going to happen. Okay. God's explained to me your one and sole purpose on planet Earth is to burn fuel. So you're wrapping up that important work, which is important. Okay. Those people have an understanding of what they're doing. All right. Just some of these other people are clearly highly confused. And you can tell by your attitude and your motivation about what's going on is you have no compassion or sympathy for any one of your species. It's very, very sickening and sad. And you can tell sort of from your attitudes and stuff that it's like a whole disgusting sort of like gross manic hypersexuality out of your gourd, drug induced mania type enjoyment that you quickly fall down from and go, why is the Why is the package store closed and why is there no water? Okay, we're not having that in the state of Massachusetts. So we don't have that going on here. Yeah. We don't have this. I don't know what happened in the UK. Clearly, it was so bad they set the place on fire, literally. Just, whoa. Severely reduced brains. They're severe reduced capacity. They're mentally retarded Oz. So they do literally go like this, and just anything bad that happens to someone with a different color face, they think is fantastic. That is the truth. Everything else is a lie. It's a persona. When they go, what's going on? Oh, yeah. That's exactly what they do. What's going on? Okay, well, what's going on is you're being put down. That's what's going on. Just that business at Boston Common. We're going to celebrate that marijuana is free because that's all we've ever wanted in our lives is to lay on the ground in a group and smoke marijuana. That's all you've ever wanted in your life. That's your life's work. That I saw the video. That's your life's work. Okay, well, you're being put down because you're too retarded for life. Okay? The other fraction of your species has had enough of it. I don't know if you realized that not everyone does that. Okay, people do not go to get a master's degree and a PhD to lay on Boston Common in a group like lobsters getting high. It is. It's difficult to listen to these people talking and stuff. You just go. That's one of the things. If you're birthing retards in the phase out area, be prepared to be putting them down. I mean, in the safe zone. If you're birthing retards in the phase out area, I would advise you to sterilize them. Like before somebody else does. Yeah. Anyways, let's not get too in the dramatics because then people start accusing you of inciting people to murder and stuff when that's inciting people to murder. Clearly, people are murdering people. But yeah, you want to keep it calm and yeah. I would advise people to get vasectomies if they're still available. Since it is completely impossible for you things to stop sticking your penises in vaginal slits without condoms. It's just absolutely grotesque and disgusting, and it's just impossible for you to do. I mean, even having to admit that to a population on planet Earth. Okay, so what this is you can't stop sticking your penises in vaginal slits without condoms. If you have to actually say that in an interview, would it sound so sort of embarrassing and gross that you might think about getting a vasectomy at least? We don't care about your diseases. You're being kept away from us by Almighty God. So we don't care about your diseases. Just imagine people behind. That's what it's like because God does it. It's an imaginary electric fence. Just imagine these things behind a fence, right? And now, for once in your life, you can actually speak your mind. Like you don't go up to them. I'm not on a thing going, "Hey, listen to me." They have to look it up and listen to it. So, right, you go, they just showed up to, I'm standing in like one of those WWF cages and they showed up to it to listen to me talking. Not I went and hunted them down and oh God forbid annoying tweets. And I explained to them reality, and it's just that's it is that I told you that scratch, claw, spit. Sorry, noon time. When I'm on a rip of talking, then I talk as long as I want to, and then I take my walk. I could leave here at 1. It's just a walk up there and back, and I don't have to shell anything. That's the beauty of it. Did it yesterday. So it's one of the new things that I'm doing where I do what I want to do when I want to do it. So because it's not actually me, God would just, I'd go a blank in the head and there'd be nothing to say. Probably be one of those days where I talk a lot. Like yesterday, I really didn't do that much talking, and the day before I was talking. It was like 8 hours of talking. So it just depends on the day. So yesterday was like a day off. Yeah, it was nice, all the trap music and stuff, and eating 2 meals. It was good. So I expect to eat 2 meals today too, and maybe even some fruit. So I don't want to become obnoxious. I do not. No, I don't. The Nuremberg trials, I still have an interest in that. If ever people are allowed to somehow leave any type of comments, I would think Facebook is the easiest way to do it because it's not real time. That's up to Facebook. I don't know how many comments they can handle. I mean, they have pages that's like a news network where I'm sure they're getting thousands of comments. Okay. Because the chat, it's going to go too fast. So it's like I'd have to slow it down to such a crawl. That's the only other option. It's you slow the chat down to. I don't know if there's any way that I can actually control it. I would think Facebook is your best way to do it. Right. The Facebook has got to be visible to everybody, and then they can comment on it. So I can get answers. Obviously, there's going to be people flipping out. There's going to be people leaving perverse stuff, just like typical online activity. But I can just go through and hide all those. I'm looking for answers to specific questions. Looking for answers while that species is still living. Not you get more visits from me. That's what the World Wide Web is for. Like when they did the Nuremberg trials, those people in a thing, it's like a courtroom, and I get to ask questions, not you talk over me and attack me. If you're going to pretend you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're not even in a Nuremberg trial. They just already did away with you. The ones that are real sick like that, that's pointless. They want people that are actually going to answer questions. Like Jen, it's something to do, scientific study. Okay. No, none of you are really like Charles Manson. None of you are getting that. None of you are getting how is God letting you override your binder. None of you overrode your binder, from what I can tell. So, one of my questions was, um, I'd have to pick a specific point. Maybe the capital. I'm not really going to go with that. No, I'd have to pick a specific point and then ask when you this action. Okay. Were you aware that the people that you were doing that against have thermonuclear weapons? Okay. Were you aware of that? The foreclosures after 2008, um, that seems almost like a trickery. But I will say this: there was people that came out that called themselves Occupy Wall Street that explained to people, okay, and then personally myself in real life before I got to 2011, I was already speaking to people about it. Okay, how that didn't make any sense if we paid off the banks, how we owed a bill. Okay, so some people maybe have an interest, and that's why that question is coming up. So that's specifically for people who bought and sold homes or partook in the buying up of foreclosures after 2008. Okay. It, what were your thoughts at that time? I know I personally told people not to do it, and they still did it. Okay. That's You're a different species. And I think for some fractions of your species, you shocked them. So sometimes in life, you don't really know uh, people, okay, especially when you're the other species. It's commonplace that you don't actually know each other, but that's a defining moment of knowing people. That is definitely a defining moment of knowing people when you're being told that your own countrymen, okay, are being foreclosed on. That's one part of it. Okay. The other aspect is you're kicking families out of their homes. Okay. And then the other part of it is when you're told that the citizens here paid off the banks. Okay. Um, yeah, I'm sure some of these people around them, like, say that you were a person who started buying up pre foreclosures and stuff, or you bought a foreclosed house because it was cheap. You bought a house at an auction. Did you ever experience, maybe in hindsight, okay, did you experience a loss of friends at that time? Like friends, family members, did they begin to sort of uh, not be sort of involved in your life as much? If you've lost so much brain matter, you can't even remember 2008 and 2009, but um, I remember that Cynthia's daughter, apparently her and her husband bought like a pre-foreclosure house or something, and it was like, I really don't think anybody should be doing that. And I sort of put out the warning in terms of safety at that point. Just, I, I don't think anybody should really be doing that. I don't think anybody should be really buying or selling houses after 2008. I don't think that's a good idea. But anyways, I think the really psychopathic ones, I don't think they ever feel any regret. Jen's testimony is she feels no guilt when she does things. So don't, yeah, God went over this one, and it's good for, it might be helpful to other people. It's not really that you don't want to get into a thing where you think that they're going to change, like, and stop their behavior. It's like not really that you care um, if they change. Yeah, like um, I myself, right, like once for me, I realized that they're just going to die and they can't rebirth. I don't care anymore about that stuff. Like, it's not that I ever cared. God explains why you're doing it. It's you're hoping that they stop. You honestly, like, they should know that about me. I honestly do not care about you. Like, I don't care if you ever come to truth, if you ever feel sorry. None of that has any meaning to me. Me using these like negotiating techniques about asking you, um, right, are you worried about this? Do you care about that? I don't actually care about you. I'm trying to get you to become, I guess, frightened so you'll stop doing it. That's my only motivation, is for you to stop what you're doing. It's not that I actually care about you. Okay, so uh, just know that about me. Okay. I cannot care about the other species because I know what you are and your intent towards me. And I find that I literally have no caring for you. You're not like another species on Earth, and it's probably because you're a temporary species. Yeah, I care about what happens to squirrels. I find that I feel bad for the guys, the geese, sometimes, and I get worried. I want to make sure that God is not letting them get too much uh, radiation. I don't want the other species to die. And it's probably because those species I have an actual need for. Like, I'm created to have a caring towards a species that I actually need to survive. Whereas you, it's weird. It's like a hatred towards every species except your own species. But then, even within your species, you make up ways to hate each other. You're definitely a terminal species. You 100% don't care about each other. You don't even care about your own children. I know you. Okay, so don't make me show you yourself. You're not going to like it for the rest of the time here. That's why I said you don't even know what a psycho is, and don't fuck with me. Because as primates, you're supposed to care about your offspring, and you don't, and you know it. Okay, it's the end of your species. You'll care about something in the next thing. You know you don't care about another person on planet Earth. You know it. In your deep, deep thoughts, you know it. I don't have to. As weird as it sounds, I don't have to care about another member of my species. I don't have to. In order to survive, I don't. Every relationship I would ever have on planet Earth, especially after you things are gone, is by choice, except for the people that birth me until I get to an age where I can get to food and water on my own. Food and water, be able to make clothing. Those would be, even those beings are beings I would choose to be around because I have legs, I just leave. Okay. And I know that your species is gonna, to the bitter end, is gonna fight that. You hold your family members captive. Okay. It's like really that bad. I don't do that. I might be like, I say that that Brian Buchanan person was actually a human being. It's an impossible um, uh, whatever the word is. It's an impossible, let's pretend this, because there's no human being would treat me like that. So it's an impossible scenario. Okay. But uh like in order for me to actually care about what he's done, he has to be my species, because you go, that's everything is fake and I know it. Everything is fake and I know it. I know what that species is at its core. And as you saw, God doesn't let any of you somehow trick me, even though you think you do. A sexual assault is not tricking me. So, anyways, if I forgot what the point of that was, I was talking about actual people that you choose to be around. So it was something like that. And you just go, yeah, maybe that was the point. Anyways, I know I have to take a walk. That's probably why I'm going a blank before I get too tired. Oh, that's what it was. Thank you. I could, if I just was out in the woods screaming at the top of my lungs about how bad this person is, but I stayed the F away from him like I do, who cares? I know it's like people act like something is psycho. You don't even know what psycho is. That's psycho. What about the people that every single day of your life, they're there in your fucking face? That's psycho. That is psycho. Okay? Yeah. Not someone who goes blah, 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 blah all over an internet, but stays the fuck away from you. You don't even know what psycho is. You things are so sick. Who cares what I said? I'm not forcing the dude to be with me, but you people do force people to be with you. But you're not psycho. Okay, whatever. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't, as long as, and it's not in my face. I didn't show, that's what I'm telling you. I didn't get right off a chair on June 25th and get right on a train, right? Or go, Tommy, you got to drive me to Quincy Center right now so I can beat the fuck out of this dude. Oh yeah, I would have. I didn't do that either. Yeah, this dude put my fucking hand on his dick. He said he was gonna marry me and shit. And now this. No, I need a ride to fucking Quincy Center. Too sweet, so I can beat the fuck out of a person. And then the cops come and I go, he fucking put my hand on his dick. So yeah, I punched the fuck out of him. Take him the fuck away. Thank you. Okay, I didn't even do that. And most people probably see how that could, it's probably not Melissa, but see how my eyesight's horrible. See how it could be? I don't think it is her, but that's totally what she looks like. I can't see the person's face that far away. My eyesight's wicked bad. And she doesn't have a hat or a scarf. She might have a scarf, but she doesn't have gloves. Anyways, that's what I meant. Just make sure the person's all right. You don't like to be harassed by the police, but she walked over there and now she's walking by again. So, yeah, if she had some reason to be out in the cold like that. Anyways, um, the person who founded Harvard University. So, anyways, yeah, I wouldn't care if a person was saying anything online or whatever and screaming and yelling or whatever, as long as he stays the F away from me. Do you get it? Like that to me is not a psycho. Oh yeah, just, oh, and you're in your room doing this and that, but I'm not in Quincy Center pounding the fuck out of him, am I? Okay, because you're really delusional that women and men, like, if this was normal life, I have 6 adult children. I used to have social friends. I knew people in the fucking military. I lived in a condo with a dude who was in fucking special ops or whatever the fuck they call it in the Marines. Okay. And then you just come back to the condo and go, this dude just totally like took my hand and put it on his dick. the street bum. Some dude doesn't show up and pound the shit out of him. We're not living in a new America society where that shit goes on and then someone goes, now you go to jail. Is that a threat? Because that's the shit they do out there. Ask anybody that's been to Quincy in that shelter and shit. That is what they do. That's their new thing they're doing out there. No thanks. That does not happen in life. Anyways. So whatever these people, that's a good way to put it too. Whatever these people's life experiences, these people that are friends of Brian Buchanan in the foster care system, in the community, in the specialized housing, okay, and everybody out in the Quincy, okay, whatever your upbringing was, I don't know what the hell that was, because people will haul off and beat the fuck out of you when you sexually assault people, and they don't go to jail. We don't want stuff shut off, so I stay away from you things. It's really gotten to that point. Not I would beat you up, but it's like, what the fuck happened? I didn't even tell anybody. I was on this thing, but I didn't personally, anybody in life, not one single person in life did I go up to and go, not even Patrick. I didn't have a chance to, because he didn't show up to the shelter that night. Of course I would have told him. I didn't tell anybody, but eventually I would have told people, including the fucking cops. There was a cop out there that I used to talk to, and you go, yeah, I got to tell you, remember when I asked you if you'd seen him? Okay, this is the thing, though. He's a sex offender. Okay, so I don't know what we're doing about enforcing laws and shit right now, but obviously, and even when I talk to you, these people are telling me the guy's dead. I mean, that's a motivation to lie and tell people he's dead, and then they're helping hide him. They were watching me on the internet. They were definitely watching me on the internet. So the second that they realized that he did actually do that, they knew he was going to get fucking arrested. They're a bunch of scumbags. Okay, so yeah, that would be a motivation for a bunch of psychotic, drug-addicted assholes to lie and say a dude was dead, so that I wouldn't report to you the sexual assault. I'm sure Joey and Chris Alvarelli would have beat the fuck out of him, first of all. I would hope to God. You're beating the fuck out of Jason. I don't really advocate for that, I gotta tell you. I think that he should have been arrested and put to fucking jail. I don't really advocate for that. Yeah, I mean, I understand it because myself, I mean, me personally, I mean, seriously, anybody in Quincy would ever be doing that and I wouldn't start fucking punching them? Anger is not actually emotional hurt, you know. When people do this weird shit, because Jen did it too, it's like a rape by coercion. When people do that to you, yeah, it's going to take a while for you to go, okay, so he really is just that fucking disgusting, and so are his friends. Okay. Right. They might interpret it in their mind like, you're just saying that because he won't go out with you. Yeah, it is that. Yep. Okay. Because never in a day do I allow some dude to sexually assault me. It's called self-defense. Right. Say that in just anywhere that dude did that, and he wouldn't stop trying to do it, and I started punching him. That's self-defense, not I go to jail. Like, sometimes people become so dangerous they've got to be put in jail. or he's got to be put in housing with an ankle bracelet, like I said, so he can't leave, just like Paul with the cane and the hat. And they're in a kill zone. Okay, so literally disguises and shit aren't going to work. Right, just you've got to get into your room. This no, right? Just handcuff them, and every single time you see them outside, just handcuff them and take them to fucking jail until they stop doing it. Otherwise, you've got to ignore people, I guess, beating the fuck out of them until they go into their room. That's really your only sort of way to do it until that population finally dies out there. Like, right, if I would think the ankle bracelet would do it, but that's a lot of work. These people seem to not be able to control their effing urges. Yeah, just they'd still go out even with an ankle bracelet. And then you go, I can't spend all day and night arresting you. You were told to stay in your housing because you're a sex offender. We're not going to spend our days feeding and watering you things. No. That's why you have rooms. Even those Father Bill people deliver you things, food. I was in one of their rooms. They bring them food. Okay? I wanted to get rid of Quincy Taxi. Remember that Quincy Cab? I wanted the place closed. No Ubers, nothing. That's right. Once you things can't walk, you're not drinking anymore. I guess you're going to have a concubine come and bring you the booze. Not you climbing into taxis. Well, someone has the ability to take care of that too. It's called flattening your tires and destroying your cabs every time you're out somewhere. They have to get out of them and go use a toilet eventually. Not they have to attack the driver. Just you were told to stop transporting those things around. Specifically, you were told that in 2022. Yeah, that's right. I do tell you things. Yep, I do tell you things. Stop transporting sex offenders around to rape people and get booze. They don't need booze. That thing clearly had an end of life prescription given to it. I saw it on her desk for a reason. I was already told that thing should have died on the table, and someone decided that was their new learning facility and sewed it back together. Not going to be doing that shit anymore either. I know all about it. You sewed her back together when she should have died in a hospital because it's nothing but a pile of flesh that won't stop drinking. Okay? Serves no purpose in your society, doesn't drive, nothing. And it's a sex offender. For real. And then they gave me a tablet and I can talk to people in Ireland. Really? That's nice. Take your medication. It is. It's just, you could just vomit and vomit and never stop vomiting. It's just gruesome. Gruesome, gruesome, gruesome. So, anyways, are we still going to say there's no resources for the Virgin Mother? Okay, that's fine. I can't even care about that crap. That it's got to turn into now, that's them controlling the nuclear weapons. And you just go, what the fuck hell on earth? Holy shit, man, that is fucking weird, isn't it? That is. They literally will dig a fucking grave and put their entire family in it and cover it up with fucking dirt because they are not going to stop keeping me hostage. No one has to build a wall to anything. They're clearly that deranged. They are that deranged. Is that someone tricking everyone? Or that's God telling you something? Benjamin and everybody else. Is that God telling you something? Clearly, it's not a mistake to be using thermonuclear weapons, folks. I mean, come on. This is 7 months now, almost 8 months of this. It's already been going on for 2 years. Can you see me on YouTube? You could go and ask them and go, "Oh my God, did you see that the latest thing, Mary live streaming?" And then they probably will still pretend they're not what they can't see it. Yeah, Mary, just all this fucked up stuff on the YouTube. I don't really use YouTube. That's what they'll say, shit like that. Yeah, I find it's better just to ignore. Really? Okay. Benjamin Netanyahu just did another speech where he's telling you that unless you stop keeping her a fucking hostage, we're all going to be killed here. It's a complete victory, a complete annihilation of us and our entire families. So you feel it's better to just keep ignoring her? Okay, grand. That alone, just that one little snippet, Gainesville, bloop, bloop. Just that snippet alone. Okay, so did you see, where's check the star? Did you check the star like this little snippet of video? Did you check the star like Benjamin Netanyahu just told you again that you're being nuked because of holding hostages? And you okay. So it's better to keep ignoring the hostage. That's why you keep acting like you can't see her on the internet. Okay. So you're prepared to bury your entire family and then die because okay. Well, that's clearly God doing that. That's what I'm saying. I think it's helpful to people. It's helpful to everyone. Uh, right, because the public really, I mean, even at the food pantry on Saturday, people seemed really sort of chill, even though we all had to wait in a line. And it was like way more than we thought when we checked in. Yeah, you just go, it's better than the week before because people flood like this, and no one wants that. Right. So it's like, and it was cold. So, yeah, when you see a line, we just stand in it. I mean, clearly, the whole group of us were not depraved, deranged animals. I didn't hear that group complaining at all. There has been people in there in the past that complain about the line. When everyone has an appointment, it's just a busy day. There's a busy day where everyone has an appointment. It's when people that go that don't have an appointment because you're not supposed to do that. Right. We all went through it before we registered and got those cards. We all went through it. It's just basically you do it once. We have to wait till everyone shops and then you shop because you didn't have an appointment. And even when you have an appointment, you hope to God you're only showing up right at your appointment time, right, people? Yeah, because if my appointment's at 10, we don't even leave here till quarter at 10. Yeah. It's different than when I used to walk. Sometimes I got there wicked early because he doesn't want to leave till like 15 minutes before the appointment. And it's a car. When I was walking, I would never know how long it was going to take me. So it's a little bit different than when I was walking there. Yeah, but I mean, leaving people outside in the freezing cold. I don't know if some of those people were walking because they have strollers. But anyways, Those people don't seem, yeah, you just go, in my mind, I go, I don't know what the hell's going on, why there's so many fucking people here, but it's almighty, so I believe that that will resolve. Yeah, just, it runs the gamut. It runs the gamut that some people might be doing that urge where it's their job to force me to go renew a card. No, it's not your job to do that. Okay. Or for some reason, somebody won't give them a SNAP card. I have no idea. Yeah, because, or it's the same thing that I have where they're in somebody else's housing and they have to do it. Like it's an unspoken. I mean, if anybody asked me, I think I have mentioned it. Even when I have a SNAP card, I'm required to do it to live here. So I know you just go, the whole thing is people controlling people and doing weird things. And I don't even agree with being driven to a thing. That's what I'm saying. You just go, it's gotten worse and worse. So clearly, the people don't want their lives to be this, folks. Okay? People don't want their lives to be you're in your late 30s and you simply want a marital divorce. You're a homeowner. You have 6 minors. You're a homeowner. Yep. In case people didn't know that, some people get really sick and they don't know that just because you don't get a paycheck of working, that when you're married and you have a joint checking account and your name is on a fucking mortgage and your credit is used to get financing to buy the house, you're a homeowner. Yeah. Okay. That's not a Section 8. So, anyways, you want a divorce, and the laws are that you stay in a house with your 6 minors. The dude moves out and he pays. That's Florida law. Okay. And then here we are 13 years later, destitute, and I'm continuously forced to live in a house with these two people. And I can't even run my own fucking life, and I'm 52 years old. Okay. Enough. Fucking ridiculous. So, yeah, complete victory, which means you people have to be put down because you're profoundly mentally ill. You're criminally deranged. Your psychopathic run has come to an end. Yep. I better shut this thing off so I can take my walk because it's almost 1. Got to do my one thing I have to do today.